Hey guys, and welcome back to StarMade. This is Surge with another, I guess, let's call this an Atlas update. So, in another video I did a little earlier this week, I announced that both Shaker and I, founders of our faction, have decided to do a bit of a collaboration with each other. And that will be the redesigning of our two main capital ships, his Liberator and my Breaker. So in front of us here we have a work in progress, which is the Breaker, as you probably already know. But as you can see, it's gotten a bit of a facelift. I'm working on this quite diligently. I'm super pumped, and I've been putting a lot of effort into making this a lot nicer than it was. So it's kept a lot of the same stuff, as you can see. It's obviously got the same shape. It's obviously gonna have the same kind of concept. But I've mixed up a lot of things, and Shake has been gracious enough to shell this thing out for me, so it's practically got no systems right now. I got a bit of temporary systems on the inside, which if we fly around the back here, you'll be able to see. I've stripped out the engines, so as you can see, we got a bit of shields in there, a bit of power, just to keep this thing going while we work on it. So, yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a trip for the both of us. I'm working on making this shell a lot nicer and obviously sticking it to the Atlas theme. In all honesty, the Breaker was built quite a while ago, and it's a ship that I didn't really technically finish. And I believe as a shipbuilder, I've gotten a lot better since then. So I've decided to revisit this beauty and bring her back up to her glory. So as you can see, I've already added some new turrets. These are brand new, freshly built by both Shaker and I. This is the ARK, the ARC, the Arc Cannon, or the Arc Turret, rather. And that stands for Atlas Repeater Cannon. And that is exactly what it is. It is a fairly tough turret. Although it doesn't look like much on the surface, it's actually using quite an interesting design that I'm really glad we worked with. As you can see, a lot of the turret is actually below the surface, so it's a lot bigger gun than it actually looks, which means it packs quite a punch while not actually taking up a lot of profile on the outside of the ship, which is especially important for the Breaker, because the Breaker is a ship that has a very specific silhouette, and I don't want that lost with some big turrets on the top of it. This thing's starting to look pretty good, and yeah, I just thought I wanted to do a little bit of an update video showing you guys where I'm at with this, because I haven't been doing videos lately. It's not as much as I should. I really want to do some more review videos. Got another one coming up pretty much as soon as I upload this video as well. But yeah, what I want to do is we're just going to talk about some of the plans, some of the ideas I have for this thing, and in the comments below you guys can tell me what you think I should do. Whether or not I should add certain things, do certain things, anything you think I should do, and so on, and so on. Ultimately, though, there are going to be a lot of things that I keep, and that's obviously going to be like that little symbol there, that little orange symbol of what kind of looks like a horned helmet. At least that's the idea, it's supposed to look like a horned helmet. I'm going to keep the big gaping maw here, which is gonna get a bit of a facelift, of course, but the whole idea of the Breaker having a massive breaker cannon, quote unquote, that's gonna stay the same. Not sure what I want to do on the very ends of the wings here, because effectively these two parts of the ship are its wings, sort of like a falcon with its wings swooping forward or something. But yeah, so we're gonna have to do something in there. They previously housed some torpedoes which would fire. But yeah, that's just been pretty hard at the moment to really achieve. And I want to make this a little bit more PvP orientated, since the old Breaker had a bit of a bout with Blitzwing, and yeah, that wasn't a lot of fun. So also I want to sort of talk about as well in this video that on this server that we play on, the starmade.com.au server, which is pretty much Australia and New Zealand and you know, the oceanic region. I've noticed a lot of new faces, which is really exciting. There was a bit of a downturn when the Shine and the Shine group essentially mentioned that they were thinking about redoing the power systems, which I'm actually pretty keen for, but I know a lot of people in the community are not, or at least they're worried that it's going to upset their current builds or in their current projects. So we've actually seen a lot of a big reduction in who's online lately, so it's really good to see a bunch of new faces on the server. So I'm going to try and be more active on the server. So's Atlas, and we'll see what goes on. I believe we're facing a server reset soon, and there's going to be a few changes there. I'm already in talks with some of the admins about what's the best idea for this new generation. My biggest concern right now is asteroids. I kind of want them to respawn at the moment on our server. They do not. Ultimately, I believe that's was planned so that it would force people out of their sectors and traveling around the galaxy. Although I believe that's a good idea, I think it needs to be achieved through other ways. So if you play on the server, let us know what you'd really like to see. If you don't play on the server, and if you're not in that region, and you don't play on our servers because obviously ping, let us know what works good on your server that you'd like to play on, because I think that's going to be really important going forward. I think the best thing to make a game like this more popular and amongst just general people who just pick it up is it needs to be, I guess, easy for people to pick it up, and two, I guess it just needs to be accessible. It needs to feel like you don't have to learn an entirely new language, which is not the case with StarMade. It's a bit of a game to pick up. It's a bit of a heavy game realistically, and that's not a problem if you've got a community who's willing to help you out, and if you can jump into a server where everyone is willing to engage in group activities, and you're not floating around for an hour not seeing a single soul, even though there's like 20 people online. So I think in the next generation I'm gonna have some talks and see what we can do as far as the Atlas group, whether or not we stay together or we disband into smaller groups, or whatever happens to be the case. I'd really like it if we pretty much started as fast as we can on setting up this gate network and having it fairly close to spawn, if not at spawn, purely so that newcomers can come along and go, okay, this is what I can do now. I can go anywhere in the galaxy so long as I stay near one of these gates. I should be good. So, yeah. Another thing I wanted to sort of talk about is, I don't know, projects. Obviously, I got a big project right here that I'm working on, and I don't know, guys. I'm really enjoying going back to the basics, going back to the breaker here and having a go. So if you can see, I've torn out the engines. I really want to redo the engines, because if you remember the old engines, you know what? I actually might do a side-by-side comparison. If I remember, I saved a copy of the breaker. Breaker. I got a lot of breaker. These are all my breaker blueprints. Breaker Atlas, breaker with turrets. I think that's the one that was the most recent one. Hey, if I'm breathing really, I'll have to look at this in post, but if I'm breathing really heavily, that's because my nose is practically touching the mic right now. I don't know, it just sounds better when I'm a bit up close. I have a pop filter, so that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, so let me just load this thing in. This is the breaker. At least I think this is the most up-to-date version. If it's not, that's not a problem. You'll use it anyway. It should be fairly up-to-date. Here it comes. Oh, so this isn't obviously the most up-to-date one. No, this is it's one from a while ago. I think it still has all the basic things. Yeah, no, it still has all the basic things. Except it actually has in tow. Let me just jump out of that and jump back in the older version. So it actually has in tow a ship of my friends that I know from where I live. What's going on there? Oh, it looks like we're under attack. Okay, so yeah, so this is the breaker in its most primal form, I guess. This is what it used to look like, is what I'm trying to say. So the breaker is has gone through a considerable change. big benefit now is it's quite a bit more capable as far as its turrets go, which is going to be a massive improvement. So right now, obviously, it's side-by-side a shell. I'm going to do another one of these videos once I've got this breaker, even if it's not 100% complete, but a lot closer to being complete. But that's purely because I want Shaker, who's much better doing systems than I am, to have a go at doing this ship a lot better. Because this breaker, at least my breaker, has let's have a look at those stats there. It has 11 million shields with 240,000 per second, which I thought was good, but up against a ship of Blitzwings, I found out that that's not so great. And as much as Blitzwing's ship had extreme power issues, or at least in my opinion, I've talked to him since, and he reckons that if you know how to balance the auxiliary power and the main power, I mean, my opinion is simply that you shouldn't have to, but he knows how to work his ship, so it works really well in his hands. My goal is to obviously make it so that that doesn't have to be the case, that you actually can pretty much give your ship to anyone and away you go. So now we got them side by side, you can sort of see some of the differences. Obviously a big difference is the color. This one is obviously to match the Atlas colors, and a few color changes still have to happen yet. I'm still in the middle of doing that. So big differences, I suppose, are the turrets as well. You don't have these two turrets, one on the top and one on the bottom. Those two turrets especially, they're gone now. I've only got one of those left. These wee little baby turrets in the wings here, or at least on the flat there, although they look cool, they're quite weak, extremely weak compared to what I got now. And I didn't really have any other turrets there, so these turrets, the arc turrets, are quite a bit more capable and deal quite a massive punch in comparison. I've obviously torn out those moving parts there. I never did really like those a lot, and as you can see, they kind of get stuck all the time, so they've been fixed. I really like the color difference, though. Like, I didn't mind the orange. I mean, I built it first in orange. Another thing you can notice that's a big difference here is the shape now of this main body. I've meshed the bridge here, or rather this, I don't know what you call it there, but yeah, I suppose you could call it almost a bridge. But like that big interior part there, which is practically all interior. I believe all of that part there is interior. Yeah, this is all interior. So on this one, as you can see, I've meshed it in, and I've created a bit more of a bulk of the body on the a new version here. So this has worked out incredibly well, because obviously I've got a little bit more room to put those turrets in there where normally they wouldn't have been able to go. And I just think the shape overall looks a lot nicer. So the smooth lines of the 45-degree angle, rather, looks a lot nicer than it kind of going up, coming flat, and then 90-degree up. And that's kind of like, that was only there because, again, my build styles changed a lot. And a lot of my older ships, and this is no exception, it wasn't extremely planned. There wasn't a lot of like, okay, how do I want this to look? Like, I had a rough idea, as you can sort of tell, like, I got the two wings going on, but that whole upper part was kind of just slapped on later, because, fun fact, this was actually meant to be a carrier at one point, and this was meant to be a big flat so that fighters and stuff could land on it. In fact, this entire part here, where the breaker cannon in, was actually supposed to be a big hangar, and ships could fly up inside of it. I decided against that after a bit of playing around, and I ended up with a bit of a mishmash. And I don't mind the original breaker, don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely loving this new look. If you like the new look, please let me know, because I'd really appreciate feedback. Really like this new body here. It's not much of a change, but it's just enough to make it look like it's not an ad hoc. Now, let me know in the comments below, do you like the new style? Do you like the old style? There's a pretty big difference between the two. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, because that would be insanely good to hear you guys' feedback. Another big difference, obviously, besides the turrets and stuff, is Well, the colors obviously have changed, but the other thing I'm going to have to do is change up some of these things. So as you can see on the opposite side over there, you got where this Atlas symbol would be. Those over there is meant to be like some alien text, and right here it doesn't. It says Atlas. I'm probably going to do that with this here as well. So this alien-looking helmet thing here, or this, I don't know what you'd call that, but some weird alien symbol. I'm probably going to change that with the symbol that I put on a lot of my ships. It's the Surge symbol, which is like that blue kind of thing. It almost already looks like that, so it won't be too hard a thing to do. I'm going to change down here where it has, like, again, some weird alien hieroglyphs, and I'm obviously going to change that to maybe be some numbers, or maybe actually write the words breaker up the side of it. I really like that idea too. And I'm going to probably do the same here, but I'm going to change this to more look like that symbol. And I'm going to have a talk with the other members of our faction, but I'm going to put the vote to make this symbol here the symbol of Atlas. So let me know what you think there too, because I really like that symbol there. Okay, so obviously I got this little well here, and as you can see, I got lovely pink in there. Just a temporary thing while I'm waiting on some tart thoughts and designs to pop into my head. I'm thinking I put some kind of like side pointing missiles or something like that. No, unfortunately, those turrets won't fit in that little gap there, which is a real shame. But I think it's okay to have a different type of turret there. And I'm thinking some sort of like missiles that are still kind of welled in, but facing upwards or something. I don't know, but some sort of missiles that either scatter or fire multiple of them. I don't know. I just think a little missile turrets on the side there would be a cool idea. Let's go to the undercarriage of these guys, because little bit of stuff's changed there, of course. Obviously, I got the big gun on both. That's still there, and still is that gun as well. I really like that gun, so I didn't decide to take it out. I reckon it kind of looks like an underslung minigun, in a way. So as you can see, I've taken out those turrets there, and I've laid down a bunch of more AMS turrets, or at least I've started laying down some AMS turrets on the undercarriage of the new one. So I'm thinking of putting down another well so that I can have another one of these big turrets on the base. I don't know whether it's necessary, because I got that big turret, that one right there, and then I've got this little turret here, which kind of has a really good kind of like direction and is rapid fire. The big issue I'm having right now, and this is what I really want you guys' opinions on, is right now I've got a lot of issues as far as turret spread. So right now most of my turrets line of sight really only goes around the front of the ship, and the back of the ship is left very unprotected. I got some more spots I can stick some turrets to yet, so I don't know. I'll have to think about it, but if you guys have any suggestions where I should stick some turrets on this thing, let me know. Leave your comments in the comment section below, of course. But yeah, so one thing I will add to that, though, is unfortunately I'm not going to be able to put one of those big turrets on the top here, because right underneath this is my bridge, and that's where my core and a lot of my systems will be. I mean, what? No, they're not there. They're hidden deep inside the ship that you'll never ever find them. But yeah, no, I obviously can't dig in there because there is an interior in there. And I'm not having any, and there's no particular reason I don't want to remove it. But yeah, no, I can't stick it there, unfortunately. I'm not sure what to put on the top there. I don't really want to change the flat look it has. As you can see, you got symbol on the back there is probably going to change. Or I might leave it. I don't know. I really like that symbol. What I will do, obviously, is change the color. But yeah, I got a point here where I can stick a turret, I guess. Some AMS can go in there. Yeah, no, let me know where I should put some turrets on this thing, because the back of it is pretty undefended right now. So the other thing, too, is I'm going to stick some more interior in this. As you can see over here, I've got this kind of like tank. It's like almost like a fuel tank or something. And I was kind of meddling around with this just before. And as you can see, I've kind of got like this balcony here, which I'm going to stick the little corner in there. And this balcony, which you'll be able to step onto from the inside in here. But as of right now, there's no way to get in there. As you can see, I got a lot of extra room in here. I can't be too greedy and use it all up. because I still got to make a lot of room for systems, which I think I got plenty of room to put lots of systems in here, which is, ooh, excuse me. Oh, jeez. The only thing I'm thinking, though, is I'm probably going to tear out this elevator and make a new one. Keep the shaft in place, but just change how it works. I might actually have the elevator stop, say, about here, or at least go up one more floor, and then maybe make it end up, like, make the room between the two thrusters some interior, so that way you can have a pathway to the balconies here. And what I'm probably thinking about doing, just for roleplay, is having an engine deck. Because right now I've got a commons and I've got a... so the decks I have, I've got everything but the, say... I really don't have anything that, like, I don't have any engine areas. So a lot of this place is, like, in here you've got... this is your loading bay, your cargo bay, rather. Here's your hangar. And if you go up, obviously, you've got all the important, like... Well, not important. None of the floors I really have are important at all. But I don't have any kind of like maintenance or engine bay. And I think a really good spot for an engine bay would be in between the two engines, you know. And I've got a lot of room in there I could put it, and I could probably just take out this elevator shaft and actually have the elevator dock to the side so that you can get out the elevator either side, depending what floor you are on. That's the side you'll be able to get out. Plus, my logic is very messy. Very, very, very messy. And I could definitely tidy that up and save quite a few blocks there. And make it a lot better at what it does. So, effectively, I got a lot of work to do. But I'm getting pretty close. I'm getting to a point where I'm pretty happy with the exterior. I don't know. You'll have to, again, this is why I'm hoping you guys comment. Because it means a lot to me to hear you guys' feedback. And I mean any kind of comments would be really helpful. At the moment, this thing is, this thing is still 562 meters long. I have no real intentions of lengthening it at all. I was considering maybe stretching those wingtips out a little bit, but no, I think it's a good length. Pretty much most of the ship is where I'm happy with it as. But yeah, I definitely want to do that little bit extra interior. I'm gonna sweep through the entirety of the interior and just do a huge like redecoration and add a bunch more blocks, more decorative blocks, rather than just standard hull. Actually make use of my galley rather than leaving a bunch of the bays empty, and actually put proper say blocks per bay in there. Maybe like have one as each of them as each different weapon that ends up on this thing. That's the other thing I need to consider too, is what kind of weapons I want to put in this thing, because obviously I'm gonna have to consider, am I gonna have a big cannon? I mean, obviously I'm gonna have one big weapon of some sort. Usually it's going to be some sort of volley of missiles, which let's see how we go there, because I really think it's a good idea to just have like a big effing gun, because the whole point of the breaker is it's supposed to be a ship that just kind of like flies in and breaks something. It's a spearhead ship. It's not meant to linger in battle. It's not meant to just sit there in battle and just take a hit. It's meant to fly in, release its payload, and then it's, supposed to just clean up the mess afterwards. I don't know, guys. You're going to have to let me know in the comments below this stuff, of course. What kind of weapons should I have? I mean, I've got, obviously, the breaker cannon there. I've also got the two guns under the wings. There, as you can see, and in the past they were just cannons on rapid fire. I don't know what I'm going to put in there. Maybe I'll have some lock-on missiles or something, but I've also got the wingtips here. Maybe I can put some lasers or some cannons or some missiles or something in there as well. I don't know. I don't want to have too many weapons on this thing. Like I said, it really has a specific purpose, because at the same time it's also sort of my cruise around ship as well. I want to have a really good jump drive in this. That's definitely going to be important. And maybe even a really good jump suppressor as well. inhibitor. That's the word. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe have a really good inhibitor as well. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think what would do well. As far as it goes, this is why I'm getting help, because systems are not my forte. Design, I'm pretty good at. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty happy with the kind of designs I've done with this ship. But as far as the systems, I'm just really bad at that, which is, you know, very evident in a lot of my ships. At least my bigger ships anyway. My smaller ships aren't too bad. It's the big ones that have the trouble. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously leave your opinions and comments in the comment section below. Like I've said a million times this episode already. But I really want to get what you guys feedback with. So I'm gonna do another episode probably in a few days. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to get a hold of Shaker for a little bit. But we're gonna be having a look at his ship as well, and we're gonna actually have a bit of a go at the insides of that, and have a bit of a play on the outside. Play with some colors, play with some designs. I really wish I had a copy of his ship to show you. I should have grabbed one from him the other day. But yeah, check on the videos, and I'm going to probably leave some links to the videos in the comment section below, or in the description rather. I'm going to leave some links to the previous videos so you guys know, or at least can go have a look at the Liberator in a few different episodes that I've had it in. Because honestly, it looks pretty amazing, and I've not actually had a lot of input, so I'm kind of feeling a little useless on that front. But that's it, hey guys. So anyway, I think I might leave it there. So you guys know, I'm probably planning to do a couple episodes every few days, so probably 2-3 episodes a week now. I'm trying to keep this more frequent. Still umming and ahhing about getting that video editing software. It is still a lot of money, and I probably will buy it shortly. I had a few bills I gotta pay first, you know, being an adult, you know. that's a really fun thing there. So I don't know, guys. I'll see how I go there. But in the future, just expect some pretty basic videos like this, uploaded on the fly, unedited and raw, because that's my style. Anyway, guys, this has been Surge with another little update. I'm just going to call this one an Atlas Quest update, because essentially we're looking at the creation of the Atlas flagship right here, or at least one of them. So yeah, guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. I really like reading your comments. It means a lot to me, knowing you guys have inputs and opinions on the stuff that I do. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because hey, that's only gonna get you more awesome videos. So it's a win-win, really. I mean, you click a button, no effort, you get awesome videos. That's how that works. And yeah, of course, leave a like, because you obviously like these videos. And hey, you know, leave a dislike, because that's an option, I guess. I mean, I don't know why you'd leave a dislike. It just wouldn't, you know, nothing kind of crosses my mind why that might be the case. But hey, it's an option. Anyway, guys, this has been Surge with a little Atlas Quest update. And yeah, signing out.